maybe not encouragement. I woke up this morning with a wrong question, right response kind of thing, and what I have heard, and I don't know if you've heard it before. However, through my belief system and people saying things, I heard this, and see if you can relate. Let God be God, and every man a liar. And that's just not what the Bible says, number one. And for me, when I was thinking about it in my quiet time today, it says, how do I give God permission to be God? Let God be God, And I said, because I'm doing this identity thing, right? So, in a wrong question, right response, let's tap into that just a smidgen. So, the wrong question that I came up with is, do I need to let God be God? Do I need to let God be God? So the right response is, God does not need my permission to be God. Now let's pause for a second right there. When you think of identity and who you were created to be, what is in us that sometimes causes us to need other people's permission to be who we are? So if we're using, people be like God, what would Jesus do? All those things people talk about. But let's just talk about the power of knowing who you are and realizing that you don't need everybody's opinion to be who you were designed to be, who you are, right? I don't need somebody's opinion to be uh, a black woman. I am. Definitely one, right? I don't need permission. It's just who I am. So, what is within you that you're allowing other people to put a cap on who you are based on their opinion? So, I'm gonna go back. That was just a pause, right? A break. So, the wrong question is, do I need to let God be God? The right response is, right? God does not need my permission to be who He is. So, and that's in Romans 3 and 4 for those who are scholars, biblical scholars, or you want to look it up. It says, let God be true, but every man a liar. And that was given in a point where Paul was people were saying, well, I don't believe, I don't believe, I don't believe. Somebody not believing you are who you say you are based on your history, based on your destiny, based on your legacy, based on whatever they want to use, right? That doesn't change who you are. Who you are is so much greater, so much bigger than other people's opinion. However, your opinion does matter. So, what he talks about is, God forbid, other people's opinion causing him to be less than who he is. And so, absolutely not. I mean, other people matter, but they're not the ones who make the one decision on a daily basis for you to continue to be who you are. Because what happens is, see, our unbelief in who God is does not make God unfaithful. It doesn't make him less powerful. It doesn't make him less amazing. He does not require our permission. So I'm saying this not just from a religious, and I say religious, but a faith background, because we're not going to get into religion. We're going to get into the matter of what I believe. So in a element of what I believe, who do I believe I am? Who do I believe he is to me, right? Who is he to me? But when you look at who you believe you are, that matters. What other people believe you are is none of your business. I may hear it. My emotion may even be triggered by it, honestly. However, does that make you less than who you are? See, most people want to judge you by your history and they are not looking at your destiny. So my question to you is when you look at it is who are you giving your power to determine who you are becoming? Are you looking outside of yourself so far out that you are shaken by what other people say? And if that is happening, please understand that people will always have an opinion. It's like certain body parts, people will always have those. That is, and when I say it's none of your business, what I mean is you can't be moved and you can't cause that to be a roadblock. Not if you know. So the question is whether you will align with what is already true. Because people will put you on trial, just like God was on trial. People will say what you're not. People will accuse you, ridicule you, all of those things. But that doesn't change who you are unless you allow it. Now, there are some things I've been through in my life that I really look at and say, I don't know why I did that. That was an error, right? But that doesn't stop who I am at my very core, my DNA. Sometimes I have to go back and apologize. Sometimes I have to walk away and say, that's what you did, but that's not who you are. And I'm going to be doing a session in Napoleon Hill at the foundation. I'm going to be a keynote for them soon. And one of the things I'm going to talk about is how people perceive you. And people are looking at a snapshot of your life and saying that's who you are. Have you ever been in a room where people say, oh, that's only, and they use your name. They don't, mean anything. They dismiss you because of who you were or how you showed up in the past. Just be tender to who you are in the moment. Even when you don't understand your circumstances, even when you're being measured against someone else's truth, even when you can't trust your destiny because you're looking at your history, use the current moment as the one thing that can shift everything in this moment and empower yourself from there. See, for me, God is more than what I see. He's more than what I feel. I have history with him. Trust me, a lot of history. But more than that, I have history with me. Even when I don't understand what I see, I will not redefine who God is. It doesn't change who he is. Now, taking that same measuring opportunity is sometimes you'll step in situations and you will not align to everything that you know you are. When that happens, don't allow people to redefine you, and be careful not to just stick in the mud and redefine yourself based on that moment. So the power is within you. Your truth is real, not because everything is perfect. However, you are being perfected. So change the question. Change the question. Shift the impulse and step deeper into alignment with the power that you have within you, because your life is is more than what you've done in the past. There's so much greater ahead. So, what I'm asking you to do is do this one thing. It's not just looking at your destiny, but take today, take this moment to think of the one thing that you can do today that will give you a 1% change, a 1% shift, just 1%. Do you know if you took 1 hour every day to be or stay in alignment with who you know you're becoming? That's 365 hours in a year. Think about that. Just one thing, just 1 hour. You deserve that. So continue to be bold, brave, and brilliant. And shift the question so that you can step into your truth as a response. I am Johnnie, the Mindset Maven, helping you bridge the gap between what you know and what you do. And that gap is you. Have an amazing day.